Hey, espresso lovers, Mark here from Whole Latte Love. I have Nick with me today, and we're going to take a look at some cool new filter baskets designed by an Italian cup tasting champion.
Our friend, Sauro Dall'Aglio.
Sauro Dall'Aglio. We'll talk more about that in a minute. What we did, you're going to see here, we did a lot of tasting, so a little wired maybe.
A little bit, maybe you a little more than me, but.
Pulled a lot of shots. And what we wanted to do was compare a stock setup with stock filter baskets and shower screen and that kind of thing, the way I would normally work with the flavors we're going to get from these new filter baskets, right?
Yep.
So let's talk real quick about, but we'll get into all those baskets. But Nick, you know, the coffee we're using, tell us about that. Got it right here.
Yeah, so we wanted to use something that had a bit of complexity to it that was nice and fresh. This is the Fuego Bear Claw blend. I think you had some Fuego on your video you just did, actually.
Yeah,
but
tasting of the Ethiopian.
That's right. So some of that Ethiopian's in here. It's an Ethiopia-Brazilian blend. So you've got some juicy, maybe floral acidity and some nice chocolate.
Yeah, and this is just a couple weeks from roast. It's still off-gassing and hitting its peak, really, as far as I'm concerned. Then the grinders we were using.
Yeah, this is the
We each have our own here.
We do, and you know, two different colors. This is the Chiato E5 SD. This is a slightly older one in silver, and you have the modern in the nice black. And we dialed in for both of our machines. We've got the Pizzeria Matrix MN and then the Duo MN.
And I've got the Duo MN over here. We're both E61. These are essentially identical internally, right? So
yeah.
we're starting at an even playing field here,
same
right?
temperature, the same pressure.
Same pressure, checked all that, and then just pulling lots and lots of shots. So now let's talk about what we're going to look at. So we've got the BIT. Tell us about the BIT.
Yeah, so it's an acronym. It's Barista Improving Taste. This is a new line of precision portafilter baskets and shower screens from Sauro Dall'Aglio.
And we'll talk about the Tamper too. That's part of the system.
Yeah, we do have a Tamper here. Yeah, you can't see, but we went with the MN for the E61 because it's an E61 shower screen. And yeah, this is a collaboration that he started with IMS.
And so over here we have BoB. So there's two different like levels of filter basket here. So we have BoB as like your friend.
It's like everyone knows a BoB. It's a very friendly, very accessible basket. Very attractive price point for people looking to get into specialty equipment.
I mean, we're doing this video. These are $15. A specialty basket for $15. And let's just real quick before we get to the Renatos, talk about what's a little different between a higher end basket and the stock basket.
If you're an espresso machine manufacturer, you're going to have a supplier probably for all your baskets, and you're trying to keep costs down so your machine doesn't cost $1 million.
Right.
And IMS in particular, they make precision milled equipment, including baskets and shower screens. So you'll get cleaner punched holes on these. You'll get probably a better distribution. I mean, all of it was deliberately designed by Sauro specifically for the tastes that they'll impart in the cup.
So he's done lots and lots of tasting himself.
Yeah, he's probably tasted a lot more shots even than we have. So.
Okay, so BoB over here, variety of different sizes, right up to a triple.
We've got 4 sizes, 10, 16, 18, and 21.
And very accessible at $15. Look, prices can change, but I don't assume any change for that. Because usually a precision basket, you're up in the $25, $30
25 to
range.
$30, right? And that's actually kind of where we are with Renato here. So Renato is more of like, the name is Italian. It's much more designed for his pursuit of like the true Italian espresso experience, right?
And we're going to talk about the taste differences that we have between stock and the BoB and the Renatos in a minute. But more filter baskets in the Renatos, right?
So, it's because it's 3 and 3. We've got 3 single baskets and 3 double baskets. And, it's 15 for a single right now and 25 for a double.
That's the...
Renato, yeah.
Okay, Renato, okay. All right, and now I was a little confused at first because they're kind of rated by their capacity, right?
Yeah.
And then there's one that's the 90 plus.
Well, any of these baskets, the number, say for 90 plus, is the max grams. So say your 18 basket, that's 18 grams max that you want to dose in there. Now with Renato, with the 90 plus, that's like a freestyling kind of single shot basket. Sauro is really all about those single shots. And if you've ever really wanted to play with a single basket, that's probably the one you want. It's a 9 to 13 gram range. And that 90 plus is like specialty grade coffee.
Specialty grade
light
coffee.
Roast, high altitude, high density, something that's really probably going to be a lot more interesting. Yeah, like our Fuego. Exactly.
Okay, so the singles, because honestly, in the U.S., not a lot of people are pulling singles. but it's maybe going to come back in vogue.
I don't know if it'll
Sauro-
come back. Like my dad, he only pulls singles on his machine. He can't handle all that caffeine, so I got him a 90 plus, and he actually really likes it. I roast actually some Colombian for him, and you know, he found that was better than the stock basket he was using. Surprise, surprise.
So let's talk about how flavor worked out. Again, so what we did is we started over here completely stock, shower screen, stock. Basket,
stock flow rate, stock shower screen, all that
dialed in over here, and then we tasted the coffee, right? And you know, it's really nice. Pretty much what I expected. It's very fresh, and we'll talk about the differences. You know, it was decent, good shot. But then we went over here, and what happened when we went over to you know, and used the BoB basket there?
Yeah. So I mean, the BoB, I think we both kind of agreed that with the stock screen in the stock basket, it was a juicy shot. But there was a little bit of astringency that we found at the end of it when we had finished. That was kind of like a black licorice almost. And so that really kind of disappeared once we started pulling the shots with the BoB. We still got the sweetness and kind of the juiciness up front, but then the finish just was a bit more mellow, I would say.
Yeah, and I would say just a little bit sweeter, right? And it didn't have that astringency at the end with the BoB. And then we went over to the Renato basket, right? We're pulling doubles. We were doing 18 grams in, 36 out.
Yeah, always 18 in, 36 out.
So we had an even playing field there. And you know, what did we think? What did you think of the shots from the Renato?
I mean, I think that with the Renato, the big difference that I found was there was still that juiciness, still that acidity, but then the shot kind of rounded out a bit better with more of that chocolate character that I would expect from the Brazilian. And it was just more complex.
Maybe easier to pick out the different
I think so.
characteristics in there?
I think you were able to really kind of, if you thought a little bit more about it, you could really zero in on what you were tasting. And again, too, though, that astringency was not present in the finish on the Renato shots either.
Now over here what I did is initially I tamped a few shots when I was doing stock, and then of course I got the leveler out here because I do use the also Jack leveler quite a bit. I find it really, when I went to this over tamping, it really improved
just for
my
consistency. We're pulling lots of shots over and over again.
But over here, let's talk about because the tamper's sort of part of the system if you want it to be.
The tamper is, I would say, part of the system. So Sauro designed the tamper specifically to have kind of the tapered edges here. It's got a nice contour for your thumb, and then this is a wider diameter, so it ultimately is going to fit much more snugly in the basket for less play.
And that's one thing I run into a lot, right? You go out and you buy a 58 millimeter tamper.
Yeah, it's usually never like exactly 58, right?
Like if it's a higher quality one, typically they're a little bigger because baskets that are rated at 58 are actually like 58.6-ish in there, 58.7 maybe. So you never really know. A lot of places now are going to actually to the tenth of a millimeter
they're telling
now.
you the 10th of a millimeter.
But like, you know, for instance, in this, here's, you know, this is one of the
That's
Renatos,
the Renato, yep.
And you know, it's a nice, it's a nice fit.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it doesn't wobble.
You know, you go out and you get a lower cost tamper, and they might actually be really 58. Then you're going to have a lot of play in there, and that kind of
the
thing.
taper on the side is really just for, as you can see, there's a specific little bump outward here because inside the basket there's a ridge, and so it's just to help redirect the flow of water, and the tamper just fits a little bit more nicely in there with those rounded edges.
So it was really interesting. You know, we didn't know what to expect when we walked into this. You know, are we really going to get a difference with these filter baskets? And the answer is, yeah, with this coffee, we really did. We got, you know, more distinct, I think, flavors we could pick out, a little more sweetness, and we really dumped any astringency that we had in the stock stuff.
I think, too, if you were using other blends or even single origins, what you're going to find emphasized with the baskets is really going to be brought out in your experimentation. So I do think, though, that the distinction between like maybe the juicy kind of floral strawberry note and the chocolate was most present on the Renato.
All right. So again, these are Bit, designed by Sauro, Dall'Aglio.
In collaboration with IMS.
In collaboration with IMS. He's a former Italian Cup tasting champion. And in the Bit, you've got the BoBs, which are, again, precision baskets for around 15 bucks.
At a friendly price.
And a friendly, it's your friend Bob has a friendly price.
That's right.
And then the Renatos here, which are kind of the next step up.
Yeah, a little
and really
more complex.
Part of that system. We've got the shower screen over there that does that special distribution.
Yeah, just more holes around the edge.
Not so much in the center.
In the center, it's actually a little bit flat. Just to talk about that very briefly, it's to prevent a intense stream of water in the center of the puck from boring through during the extraction.
All right, Nick, thanks for your help. And gosh, we're a little wired because we did taste a lot of espresso a couple hours ago. But do check these out. They're all available now, right? We got them all available now at Whole Latte Love. You know, if you like this stuff, you got to come back, right? Watch more, do subscribe. We'll see you back here soon for more of the best and everything coffee brought to you by Whole Latte Love.